Hey guys, this is Diana Ballard, and welcome to the Mom Training Podcast, where we discuss the skills and strategies to create possibilities in motherhood and make it more fun, efficient, organized, and peaceful. You can find more information or connect with me online at dianaballard.com or at Diana Ballard Live on social media. There is no one that cares more about protecting her children than a mother. Now, obviously, there are situations where it may not be our child we're taking care of. It may be a child we've adopted, or there's just a million different ways that family is created in this world. But you hear, oh, the mama bear's coming out. We're very protective of our children. So what we talk about today, I just want to raise awareness and believe that this topic is something that's very important. And it's really easy for this to be overlooked or to let it slide by if we're not careful. But whether we notice it or not, this is making a huge impact on our children's and our families' lives. And when I think about this, it makes me want to mama bear and stand up and fight. Because it's my children. And I want to do everything that I can to protect them. And I know that you do too. So we're going to dive into this topic today. And you can kind of evaluate and see where you are on things. And, hopefully this will spark some ideas of how you might be able to make some changes and help protect your children a little bit more. So the first topic I want to talk about is children's food. Now, I can already tell that there are people that hair stood up on the back of their neck. They're like, okay, I don't want to hear this today. Just hear me out for a minute. My question is people with kids creating children's food? Or are they businessmen? Are they people that are trying to make as much money as possible and maybe not thinking about the consequences that can come from eating certain foods or eating certain chemicals or the millions of preservatives and things or the food dyes and how they, can cause high hyperactivity in some kids and the sugars that's added in everything that's making kids addicted from a very young age. For me, I'm a mom did not create this food. A mom that is involved in what her kid is eating did not create this food. If we were making some type of food for our kids, we wouldn't go over and pull up a bunch of chemicals and dump a bunch of extra flavoring and some preservative stuff in it and this enhancer or this whatever is in it. Moms are not making most kid foods, because if they were, they would be a lot healthier and have a lot less crap in them. So I want you to ponder this. What am I feeding my kids? Now, when I was thinking about this, I thought about the Poland peels, the Gushers, the sugary cereals, the Lunchables, the Crustables. All the stuff that we can put in the freezer or is packaged and can stay in our cupboard for a really long time. I found myself sometimes feeling like I wasn't a good mom because I don't buy any of those things. I don't buy fruit snacks. I don't buy unicorn Lucky Charms or, fruit by the foot, or we don't buy chips. We don't buy random snacks. We stick to whole foods. And you're like, why would that make you feel like a bad mom? Well, I feel like it's very much sold to us that to be a fun mom, to be a good mom, there's kid food. And that kid food is the Happy Meal or, something with some random TV show, cartoon that they're watching. And, that when we buy these things, that's being a good mom. Now, if you buy those things, that's not meaning that you're a bad mom. What I'm wanting to do is bring awareness. Turn the food over and look at the ingredient list. See what is in there. So a whole food is something that you can read all of the ingredients and pronounce, and you're like, okay, I know what that is, right? I love how on labels now, they're saying like, this humongous word, and they're like, this is vitamin B. This is vitamin, A, but this is like the, medical, chemical, whatever term that is this vitamin. But I love that they're saying that, because like, if they wouldn't put that next to that, I'd put that crap down, because I'm like, I can't read that. I have no idea what that is. So whole foods are usually not in a package. They're not easy grab and go. I mean, there's some things that can be, there's the little applesauce packets, the string cheese. I mean, you could probably come up with a handful of things that are not pumped with preservatives, food dyes, and sugar. And I've noticed more and more that childhood obesity is on the rise. And it's really, really sad. And now we're not going to play the blame game of who, why, what, and where. But I have an inkling that a lot of the problems with childhood obesity is the kid food. It's the fast food. It's the food that's easy grab and go. And it's setting our kids up for failure in the future. Now, I'm not saying people can't change. I'm not saying that someone's life can't be beautiful when they're overweight. But my concern is that these kids are being obese from very, very young. I mean, like kindergarten, first grade, anyone in elementary school that is like hugely obese has to have health problems in the future. Diana, don't say that. No, really though. That much inflammation, that much extra weight on their joints from when they're little, they can't even get up off the floor. They can't even run because of all the extra weight that they're holding. Now, I'm not trying to point fingers or trying to tell you that you're a bad mom. But what I do want to do is ask you to raise your awareness of what is in your kids' food. What are they eating? And can you adjust just a little bit at a time away from this kid food that's full of preservatives, sugar, and food dye, and who knows what else is in those things, especially sometimes of how cheap they are. I'm like, what is in this? Like, have you ever watched like any videos of McDonald's food or ice cream sandwiches from Walmart? Like, even the ice cream sandwiches from Walmart, they don't melt. Like, you can put them in the sun. Certain brands, I think it's the Great Value brand. You can put them in the sun and they literally will not melt. Now, that's kind of a problem. Our bodies do not know what to do with chemicals or preservatives or additives or, this could be kind of like food. And that's why the body stores extra weight a lot of the time, because the body's like, what is this? We're seeing rises of illnesses and all types of problems. And I really think it's linked to our food. And I think the biggest problem is that most people are not educated about nutrition or to be aware of looking at their food. Like, what am I actually eating and what am I putting in my body? And honestly, that's probably one of the biggest places that America makes money off of people, is people not being aware and actively involved in their nutrition. Fast foods, the convenient foods, going out to eat. Now, does that mean you shouldn't do it ever? No, okay? We're all want to live life sometimes, go out to eat, run through a drive-through if we're in a rush. Like, I understand that. But it's the majority of the food that we're eating. So say once a week you go out to eat. Well, then every other meal needs to be cooked in your home, that you know what the ingredients are. You're eating the vegetables, you're eating the meats, you're eating things that are like, okay, this is healthy for me. And then when you eat those other things that have, extra preservatives or flavorings or chemicals or whatever, your body has a higher chance of being able to process out those gross things instead of like literally every day in our home too, being kind of like poisoned by things that really are not supposed to be in our body. So the point of this episode is to help you become more aware and to be active in knowing what is going into your family's bodies and stepping up and taking responsibility for that. And by doing so, that's where the true fulfillment comes from, of saying, look, I'm doing everything I can possibly do. It may be adding in one more vegetable this week, or a vegetable at all. Maybe you don't even eat vegetables. It could be adding in one thing or taking away one thing. We're not going to buy this sugary cereal anymore. Yep, we're going to stop buying like all these processed foods, just one by one. Just going to stop. Or you could just cold turkey it. Just take it all out. However you decide to do it, just know that being aware of what is in your food will make you happier, will make your family happier, everyone a lot more healthier, raise people's immune systems, and hopefully prevent some problems in the future. And one more thought I want to leave you with. Our bodies are made up of chemicals. Hormones are chemicals. There's everything of our body is a chemical makeup. Getting pregnant is a chemical makeup. Making a baby is a chemical makeup. It's all chemicals in our body. And if we are eating other types of chemicals, doesn't it make you wonder why depression and anxiety and other mental health issues are on the rise? I really believe it has to do with what we're eating and what we're not eating. We need more vegetables. We need more fruits. We need more whole food and way less of the convenient food. And I truly believe that by changing the way that we as a society eat into a lot more healthier lifestyle, it'll get rid of a lot of problems in people's lives and in families. So I invite you to be aware, to be proactive in knowing what your family is eating, what you're bringing into your home, and especially what you're putting in your baby's bodies. Look at the kid food, make a choice, and try something different. You're still an awesome mom if you don't buy the Lucky Charms, if you don't buy the sugary treats or the huge bag of candy, or even the fruit snacks. And if you go and look in your cupboard right now and you're like, crap, what have I been feeding my kids? I don't want you to feel like a horrible mom. If you're feeling a sting though right now of like, man, I really don't even know what's in that Lunchable or what's in that drink or what's in that cookie, I don't even know. You're doing great. You've done great before this. It's okay to do something different and become even better tomorrow. And to be more proactive in the healthy food that you are feeding your kids. Your kids love you. And I know that you love your kids immensely too. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next episode on the Mom Training Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mom Training Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would so appreciate a rating and review from you on any platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or podcast ideas, you can message me on my social media at Diana Ballard Live or shoot me an email on my website. See you next week.